You're watching the greatest piece of entertainment on the internet today.
The Sports Corner.
Sports Corner.
The Sports Corner.
The Sports Corner. The Sports Corner with Jessy Jones.
Jessy Jones.
Jessy Jones.
Jessy the Sports Jones.
Jessy Jones. Jessy Jones.
One of my favorite people. He got a lot of information to tell you. You listen. He'll tell you. Thank you.
I'm Eddie Osborne. You're watching the Sports Corner.
Jessy Jones. Jessy Jones.
I'm the 21st Century Fox, and you're watching the Sports Corner.
Jessy Jones. And you're watching the Sports Corner with Jessy Jones.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to another edition of the Sports Corner. I am your host, Jessy Jones. Once again, always joining me here, my co-host, Dr. Darth, once again, thank you for being here. We know that you're a man of few words, and that's the way I like you. A man of few words is an understatement coming from the man here that is my guest today. A man that's been around for quite some time now and does quite a few things, and that's absolutely disgusting. But, you know, it takes a real man to be able to spit stuff out of his mouth. So, ladies and gentlemen, Geza Kalman Jr.
Thanks, Jesse. It's great to be here, man. I see you got all kinds of pussy running around the studio here. Unfortunately, they're all kitty cats, but that's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right. I don't mind that.
Well, I thank you here for coming on down and gracing us with your presence here on the Sports Corner.
Thank you. Thank you.
And
It's a pleasure to be here.
And we're going to do the same thing I do every week, and I'll open up the floor to you so you can address the people.
Well, I'm not sure what to tell the people, so I don't know. Been around a long time. First match was in 1994, so I guess I would be just coming up, or just over 12 years now in this business. Had a lot of fun. Been all over the place. Got to travel overseas a few times and crisscross this great country of ours, North America, between Canada and the U.S. So it's been great. It's been great. Let's get this shit rolling.
All right. Okay, so we have fan facts and questions here. The first one, that seems to be a major one that is on... You can't look at the paper.
Okay,
There's nothing
sorry.
actually on it.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yes.
I can see that. You've got this all memorized.
No, I keep the hidden ones under here.
Oh, okay. I'm
Because
sorry.
people try and sneak peeks at the name association.
Yeah.
But anyway, the one main question that a lot of people like to know is, what is your wildest road story?
Wildest road story. Well, there's been a lot of highlights. I mean, one I was talking about on the way down here was the X-Lax chocolate cream pie that they fed to this guy, Jake LeDuc. I don't know if you ever did find out, but now you're knowing 12 years later. First road trip that I did, really, was with Al Snow and a bunch of his guys from his school. And this one dude had to pull over like every 20 minutes to take a dump. That's because he kept eating everybody's food in the school. So one day they baked him a little cream pie and put 2 packs of X-Lax in there. And, yeah, I never thought, I don't know. I had a bad first impression of the guy because he made us late for the show because he had to keep pulling over to have a shit. But I've met a few times after that, and he's been okay. That's just the one, and oh man, between heading out east with Ruffy, that was a blast. I mean, in 2 weeks we were able to bury Grand Prix Wrestling for Emile Dupre. You know, that old bag of shit. He's still got one potato coming to him. So there's been many more, but. If they come up, I usually tell the boys, you know, as long as they ask questions, I don't mind sharing my stories.
Oh, absolutely, and because you are a man that's filled up with much information, like you've gathered so much over 12 years now.
Oh, yeah.
And you've worked with the UFC.
Yeah. Back in the beginning of my days, I was involved with 2 Ultimate Fights. I'd be what they would consider old school Ultimate Fighting, back in the days when... no weight classes, no time limits, no gloves. So that was back in the days when you just stepped in with these 2 things and you went to work.
Well, I know I would not be doing anything like that ever in my life. But I would hire someone like you to do that for me.
Ah, well, you know, we've had our run-ins, you know what I mean? You've screwed me out of the PWA title a few times there, Jesse, but I won't let that affect this show here because, you know what? That's business, this is personal. So, I mean, you know, personally, I like you. You know,
Thank you.
And when you're in the show, you're a dick, but you know, that's what you like to be, so that's okay.
It does happen. So what we'll do here is we'll take our first of just a few breaks here on the Sports Corner.
Hey, while we're having our first break, man, you ever play crotch chicken? Oh, that's my favorite game, man. We'll be playing. We'll tell you the results after the commercials. Let's go to break.
Another ACW superstar tonight. We have with us Geza Kalman, also known as the Dog. Dog, what's going to happen tonight against Summers?
Listen, sexy Sid Summers, all he does is stand in the back dressing room crying to get respect, commanding respect from the boys, telling them that's the way it should be. Sexy Sid, respect is earned, it's not given. You don't get respect just because you strap a gold belt around your waist. Me, I don't give a crap what the boys in the back room think about me. I have to wake up every morning, look in the mirror, and know that I did 110%. Gave it the best that I could. I live by my own rules. If the rules are there and I don't like them, I'll break them. Because when I go up and I stand at the pearly gates of heaven and St. Peter looks at me and says, "Dog, did you live by the book of God?" I will say, "No, I live by the book of dog. I wrote my own damn rules." Sexy Sid, ACW heavyweight champion, it ends tonight. Because that's nothing but a bunch of hoo-ha, brother.
The gold's on the line tonight when the Dog takes on Sid Summers.
He's not always right, but he's never wrong. You know what I mean?
Collar and elbow tie-up. This match is underway. And the Dog showing off his superior strength. Sid Summers is a high flyer. Sid Summers is a talented wrestler.
The late, great Owen Hart.
Absolutely.
And, of course,
Wow! What a spine buster! Arn Anderson, eat your heart out. Wow! Big leg drop. Von Erich grabs the ACW title. What a clothesline! Holy cow! He nearly took the champion's head off. Geza Kalman is an animal. Geza Kalman is a machine. Sid Summers, you must mount an offense now or your title history is over. Summers now in a bad position. Reverse suplex. Wow. Geza Kalman has got to be impressing the masses here tonight. Kalman goes up and over through our broadcast table. I tell you, Ron, I don't feel safe right now.
I don't either, Donnie. You got these two competitors. Wait a minute. Pulled out something off of the ring and smashing away at Coleman's leg.
Sid Summers just clobbering his man.
They just smashed Coleman in the leg several times. I'm
What
not
is
sure.
this?
Holy cow, Jesse, man, you play a mean game of crotch chicken there. He let me get a full hand on his junk and he didn't even flinch. Not many times I've been beaten in that game, but you are a pro.
Well, what can I say? I have many men touching my crotch. Okay, but what we will go into saying here is the past 2 days, you had 2 matches. Goderich.
Yes.
And, what was the other one? Niagara Falls. No, Brantford. Yes, we fought here in Brantford.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm still reeling from what has happened over the past weekend. But you faced Scott Chase and, well, Hayden Avery.
Yeah,
And
you took care of business in both instances, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Both representatives of GLCW and, well, for my part, for PWA, I made a strong showing for PWA. Not to knock anything against GLCW, man. They got some hard guys there. They just not guys who are, willing to take it the same way I am. So,
absolutely, and you do go out there hard fighting and whatnot. And there have been people speculating that they'd like to see you do more brawling and just go out there and beat people up because they say that's what you're good at.
well, I do like to say that I believe I am the meanest wrestler in Canada. I'll go on record right now saying that. Meanest man, meanest wrestler in Canada, guaranteed. So for anybody who's an upcoming opponent, you must think of that first.
Speaking of upcoming opponents, we have 24th, 25th, 26th PWA at the end of the month. You're fighting Warhead on the 24th. Your scheduled opponent has not been named for the 25th. And the 26th in Cambridge, you're fighting the man that you said you went on the road with, Ruffy Silverstein.
Yes. Ruffy Silverstein, he was actually voted the third most popular Jewish wrestler of the 1 year, only behind Billy Gunn and Hulk Hogan, which, amazing accomplishment for Ruffy. Way to go, Ruffy Silverstein. That was many years ago, but he makes those damn Hebrews proud.
Well, he has to do what he can.
Right? Damn right. Good for him. He's a good Jew.
Okay. We had back a couple months ago.
The funny thing is, though, man, he showed me. I mean, he's, oh, okay, I shouldn't talk about that. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I know. See, I'm so, the shows that I've been on, there's always been censorship and all that. Now I got to remember this is on the internet, you know what I mean? And there really isn't the censorship there.
Nope.
I mean, he is, the only Jewish wrestler that I know of that has not been circumcised. So I'm not exactly sure what happened there, but, when they're ready to get the brisk and do all of that, I'll be right there with my yarmulke on and ready for the celebration for Ruffy.
Well, yeah, because I would celebrate his manhood coming into play. And it's surprising that he's such an old... Well, that's another story. Maybe when we get Ruffy on the show here, we can...
he can explain what...
Yeah, exactly. Because, hopefully, or maybe he can just, if he's too afraid to show up in person, send us an email at sportscornerjj@hotmail.com. Remember, fans, taking your emails just to ask everyone, like we are here, Mr. Geza Kalman Jr.
Yes, sir.
So, we had an incident in the PWA that happened in Niagara Falls. And you were the gentleman that did the escorting. And we're talking about the incident here with Jay McDonald and the PWX.
How did I know this was going to come up?
It's what people want to know. They want to know what happened.
People have talked about it, but they really haven't heard anything from the horse's mouth. Right?
Exactly. Because he won't make any statements.
Well, what happened there basically is PWA management asked that he does not film anything that night. And his big argument was, well, other people are filming. And that's fine if other people are filming. But excuse me. The beers are coming back to haunt me. But for him, it was like, dude, you were specifically asked to stop. So just respect. Just respect the rules, you know what I mean? If you feel like you're being singled out, then you feel like you weren't welcomed, maybe you weren't welcomed. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I don't hate Jay McDonald. I don't even know the guy. That's probably only the second time I had met him. First time was when PWX ran a show in Cambridge.
Yep.
I was on that show, and I got no problems with him. It's just, I'm not going to say what he was doing there. I don't know what he was doing there, but, it involved, obviously, the Ontario Athletic Commission and what wasn't going on, and that paperwork wasn't handed in. And you know what? Ken Hayashi has got an army of investigators that he can send out and do his work. So the only thing I got to say is, Jay McDonald, why are you being a stooge? You know what I mean? Hayashi can do his own work. He doesn't need guys going out there and trying to cutthroat other independent businesses. You know what I mean?
Oh, no, absolutely.
So that's about it. I mean, I more like hated what he did from respecting a business point of view. And that's all it was to me. It was just business that night.
Oh, no, absolutely. Because
I didn't lay a hand on the guy any more than what required to be. I didn't touch him outside. Once I got him outside, I just talked with him, and, we parted ways, and that should have been the end of it.
Should have been, but it wasn't. But PWA is coming back off their hiatus here this month with tremendous impact, and they plan on doing so much more.
2 shows ready under their belt with
3 more to go this month.
3 more to go, that's right.
And it has been announced that Hacksaw Jim Duggan will be coming in to help GLCW for some apparent reason. And I don't know, I guess Scott Chase has ties with this Hacksaw guy. I don't know what that fact is, but if anyone to vote in to fight that man, I know you can beat him.
I could beat him. I hope not to have to meet him in there. You know what I mean? I mean, in my past, I've wrestled, you know, already many, you know, many legends, and it's beyond that. You know, I don't want to hurt. I don't want to hurt the legends. I want to hurt the guys who still feel they, you know, they're full of piss and vinegar and ready to go. You know what I mean? Those are the boys I want. The ones that still feel they got something to show. Because this old boy's got a couple tricks up his sleeve, and you know what I mean?
Oh,
I'll stop him quick. I'll stop him.
All right, well, why don't you let these people know what clip we're going to see next here from your great video collection, and then we'll go to a commercial break.
Oh, another commercial. All
Absolutely.
right. Maybe for this one, we'll highlight a couple of my UFCs.
That opens up all the knees. He gets that position to put his hips back and then come forward.
Geza trying to do something up against that fence. Berto again, defensively oriented, but he's getting hit with that knee.
They stop the fight.
Jeffrey, here's the way it ended with Geza on his feet, landing those couple of good blows.
And here you see, there's the right, and you can see his knees wobble. Left hand, right hand. And at that point, the referee had seen enough. He did not want Felatio to get hurt. He was definitely in trouble.
Another
one here, prying the head up. He missed with the left, but here comes the right, and that caught flush. And look at his knees buckle. Gets back up. He wants to cover up, but can't. The left gets in, the right over the head. And at this point, when he turns his back to the striker, that is not a healthy situation.
Good call.
They stop it. That was a correct call.
And let's have a hand.
So Geza Kalman wins it at 5:56. A flurry of punches. Referee stops the contest, and the big dog with the big win.
Give Kalman credit. Good puncher, good wrestler, and he used his knees effectively. Probably the best knees we've seen.
Just scared me.
We're back here from that and the UFC fights. Like I said, I'm happy to be not having to be in the ring with you, because I know myself that I would not stand a chance, and I just don't want to be in there with you. I don't want to get beat up in my life. I really don't. But that comes into, you know, you beating people up. Where were you trained, and where did you get your start? You said it was back in '94.
Okay, my initial pro wrestling training was done by the late great Professor Boris Malenko and his son Dean Malenko. And they also had a couple other guys, Rico Frederico, who taught you the basics. And then once you were taught the basics, you graduated on to Dean Malenko, which, you know, he spent 4 months with me the first time training. And then a year later, I went back down again for 6 months and spent 6 months with him down in Tampa, Florida. Phenomenal experience. Phenomenal. That's why so many young guys, they come in now and they spend 3 months out of school, and next thing you know, they're doing shows. It's like, what the hell? What the fuck? I spent 3 months before I even touched the ropes.
Yeah.
3 months, and we had to do a 15 to 20 minute chain wrestling match in order to graduate the first phase, just to learn how to come off the ropes. So, I mean, you know, I feel like in that sense, I got phenomenal training, phenomenal knowledge. You know what I mean? I may not do it all in the ring now because, well, it's not required. I could finish a lot of these guys off in under 10 minutes. So it's not all required. And then my training would be no holds barred, what it was called back then, you know, or ultimate fighting or mixed martial arts, what it's called today. I spent nearly 3 years with Dan Severn, who's now a UFC Hall of Famer, and at 47, still active in the mixed martial arts world. So even there, phenomenal training in the pro wrestling, and probably one of the best guys ever out there. Taught me for three and a half years actually for mixed martial arts. So I feel I got a lot of tutelage to bring to that ring.
No, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. I'm just heard something in there about the fighting and whatnot. We have MVP in the PWA right now who has his Invitational as one of the most valuable, people, players and whatnot. Do you think there could be a future for a Kalman fight center or whatnot, where you just challenge anyone and can take them out in 5 minutes or less?
Well, that would be an interesting idea to pitch to the PWA, I guess, if they'd be interested. I mean, I definitely could tell you that I would have the skills to do something like that. I mean, you know, if you last more than 5 minutes, well, phenomenal, good for you, right? I mean, that would just mean me turning the notch up a little bit instead of making sure the fans get entertained at each one of the shows. I would just make sure that it's me kicking everyone's ass at that point, and then it can be done. It definitely can be done.
Well, that's maybe some.
Who are one of my upcoming opponents?
Upcoming opponents, we have on the 26th in Cambridge, Ruffy Silverstein. I do have my paper somewhere. Oh, it's in the middle of here. On the 24th is Warhead, and on the 25th, that is still yet to be named.
24th Warhead, huh? Awesome.
And that will be
awesome. I believe maybe that's where we'll start it. Maybe after that, take care of Warhead, and then we'll move on from there.
Well, I always said I never liked heads, so Warhead, that's your demise coming up here on the 24th. It looks like
you didn't like Head from Warhead, right?
Oh well, him.
Sorry,
him and PD Flex. They both use teeth too much, but that's a whole other story. But ladies and gentlemen, we have the greatest piece that everyone enjoys, and that's name association.
All right,
coming up, but that's going to be here right after this OWR recap moment.
It is now time for OWR Ontario Wrestling Recap.
OntarioWrestlingRecap.ftcwf.ca. I am your host. I am Chris the Malone Maloney, as well as
Emmanuel the E-Man Mello.
Once again, thank you for tuning in to OWR, and we'll see you next week.
Companies started to promote you and made money off of you. Wouldn't you want a piece of that pie?
That is in the contract. Okay, let's say I would sign a contract with one of the two big companies, WCW, WWF. They own my image. If they bring me in as, let's say my moniker right now is the Dog. If they bring me in as the Dog, well, I can sign a contract to where they own my image, they own my name, and from whatever...
That's a bad contract.
You should get some legal advice before you sign that contract.
That if they sell 100,000 T-shirts with my image on it, the contract says I do get a certain percentage of that.
So then you're saying it's fair.
So maybe, yes, but maybe it's not set up that way. But maybe it wasn't set up that way with the PGA. Maybe that's not the way they function.
But that doesn't mean it's fair just because it wasn't set up that way.
It is fair because that's how he signed his contract.
Maybe he wants to renegotiate.
What's that?
Maybe he wants to renegotiate.
Then he should say, let's renegotiate. He should expose then that these guys are making all this money, and he should bring it.
But
the thing is, he's not backing it up. He's not laying the contract out on the line.
Unfortunately, we have to stop. I got to raise my voice. I'm getting hoarse here. Okay, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to give away a little money. See you in a moment.
KW, by the way, Kitchener-Waterloo. See? Geography major. Great to welcome to the show for the first time. That's his neck of the woods as well. He is an ultimate fighter, a wrestler, Geza Kalman on OTR. Hey, Geza.
Michael, thanks for having me here.
Nice to see you. Obviously, you're making yourself comfortable with the feet up on the chair.
Oh, yeah.
All right. What's up with you, Geza?
Well, Wednesday night, September 17th, I'll be wrestling in London. And then come Friday night, September 17th, I'll be kicking ass in my hometown of Cambridge.
Just a normal night at the bar, is that what you're saying?
Oh, yeah. I'll be at the Carl Holmuth Arena.
Okay, well, we're back here with the name association, and we have Geza Kalman Jr. And are you ready for your luxurious names, Mr.
Yeah,
Kalman?
we can get started on that, Jesse. No problem.
Okay, the very first name on the list, the man that you just beat, Hayden Avery.
Different. Don't mind him. I knew him before he even got started. You know, great guy to have in the locker room, definitely. You know, he's entertaining out there. He's fun to watch.
Okay. Irish Mike O'Shea.
I don't know. He's always seemed to have asked me questions about certain things, and good luck to him with whatever ventures he has in the business.
Ruffy Silverstein.
Funny dude. Great guy to be around. I'm glad he came, after he's done his training. I mean, originally he was an Ontario boy, and it's good to have him back. It's good to have him back, for quite a few years now in Ontario. He's a great guy to be around.
Yeah, he is a very enjoyable man when he's not trying to win my title. We have Eddie Osborne.
Eddie Osborne. Definitely, great guy to watch, entertaining, and he's definitely one of the futures for here in Ontario. Hopefully out there wrestling for one of the big companies, either overseas or in North America. Great kid. He listens to advice, and he doesn't mind a straight up answer, which most guys fear. You know what I mean? Most guys, when they ask you their opinion on something, they want you to give you something. They want you to sugarcoat it and bullshit and lie to them and tell them their shit don't stink. You know what I mean? They could have the crappiest match out there, and they want to come back there and
he was the best.
They want people to say that was great. That move you did, phenomenal. Even though you really don't give a shit. When he asked me to watch his match and critique, he actually listens to the criticism you have to offer, good and bad.
No, absolutely. We have Notorious TID.
Definitely come a long way from when I first met him. Maybe not along in his matches. I mean, back then he was doing hardcore, and even now he's doing hardcore. But just the way he looks at the business, he's put his time in, and he's got a respect and an understanding of the business now.
Scott Chase.
Scott Chase, another guy who's done a lot of hard work. He was the shits the first few times I watched him, and now he's actually, he's a fun guy to get out there and work.
Well, you talk about being the shits then, I still think he is now, but that's just own personal opinion on the subject. We just left a bad taste in my mouth last time he was on the show, and we're not going to go into where that's leading to.
Definitely not.
All right.
Definitely not. So I heard there was no exchange of money, so...
No, that's right, the guy doesn't pay anybody.
Yeah.
Reggie Marley.
Reggie Marley. Another one of these guys. He's come a long way from his humble beginnings, you know what I mean? I remember him, I think it was with the Ebony Express. I watched one of their show matches, and I was just like, what? Who the fuck is this guy? Oy, but now, you know what I mean? He's representing PWA well, being their champion. He's another guy who's, always improving.
Absolutely. I love him as the champion, and I know that he'll be reigning champion for a long time.
All right.
But, sorry, I just completely forgot that you were the one that was fighting him.
Yeah, it's all right. Said that was business, this is outside. Still business related, but not the same aspect.
Yes,
right?
but I still, even business-wise or personal-wise, I don't want to get punched in the head by you.
Oh, no, that won't happen, Jesse.
Just believe me. Okay, and we go back into J.C. Owens.
J.C. Owens. Haven't seen a lot of him lately. Another guy, he started out with a good stable there, good crew of guys there at that place in Preston. I mean, place in Preston had nothing to offer, but he had a good crew of guys in there working out, and he had a good base to go with.
Sid Summers.
Sid Summers. Sid Summers is now representing our country in the armed forces, so good for him, Sid, Hopefully he'll still occasionally do a match here and there. Had several good shows with him. We did the old ACW show for the APTN. That was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed all my matches that I had with him. So, he had himself a sweet ballet there for a while, too.
Speaking of that, we have the 21st Century Fox.
She needs to get more matches in there. She needs to get out there more often, you know what I mean? That's about it.
There has to be more women in Ontario.
Yeah.
We've got the grand...
I saw her boob. I reffed her match and her boob popped out. That was pretty awesome. I had to tell her. Well, her boob popped out of her outfit.
When was this?
They were doing a move down in Niagara, Welland. Yeah, and she got pulled over, and dude, I felt like the dude from Half Baked, when they were sitting there. and I was reffing. I said, "Whoa, that's a full titty!" Ha ha. She's like, "What?" I said, "Your nipples showing." Oh, that was awesome. That was awesome. That was like a little added feature. Thanks, 21st Century Fox. Nice titties.
And you didn't even have to pay for it.
No, I didn't pay anybody. I owe somebody for that.
Whew. Okay, and the last
You
name.
shouldn't act all flustered. Titties do nothing for you. Go ahead, brother.
Well, I know she's great. What I have to say, she's well. Anywho,
These are man boobs.
the last name on
Jessy
the
loves
list.
a good set of man boobs. You're working on your own pretty
Yeah,
good.
I know. I'm packing back down the pounds here.
That's awesome.
Get back up to my very sporting weight. Speaking of the last name on the list, the sport, Jessy Jones.
The sport Jessy Jones interviewing me right now, or the guy in the ring?
You can go with whoever you wish.
The guy interviewing me right now, not a bad fella. Don't mind you, Jesse. Got some good shit going on here in your studios. And the sport out there in the ring, great mouth on you. You definitely know how to draw heat out of the people, and that's good, you know what I mean? You know, I don't like the way you take care of business sometimes, you know what I mean? I think there's been a couple low blows in it for me, and I felt like I've been raped out of the PWA championship, but it's all part of the show there, right, Jesse?
Yeah, part of the show.
That's it, brother. It's all part of the show.
Okay, well, we'll come back right after these. Well, I'm not sure what we're going to show you here, but there are going to be more collections from Mr. Kalman here.
More illustrious clips of me.
Absolutely. And we'll be back with his final comments on the Sports Corner.
Considerada em relação à altura e peso também, com 101 quilos, que é a entrada dos lutadores. Aí é o americano Geza Kalman. Vamos saber pouquinho dele, o que ele acha.
Submission grappling. It's a mixture of amateur wrestling, jiu-jitsu, judo, sambo. It's a mixture of all the grappling arts out there.
O adversário dentro das suas pernas, que seria a única forma de evitar de receber golpes tomados. Bateu agora.
E agora a desistência do Fernando Bosco, a vitória de mais um norte-americano.
Vitória do americano.
Geza Kalman. Ele vence e vai para as semifinais também.
Bosco, do jiu-jitsu, da luta livre e do Muay Thai.
Mas um homem é forte demais.
Os americanos classificaram para a semifinal.
E esses socos são socos que não causam nenhum tipo de trauma, né?
Um lutador como o Geza, ele recebe muito bem esses traumas, ele amortece bem pelo físico dele, pelo peso dele.
Você vê que o Geza aparou o chute já levando o Bosco para o chão.
É verdade.
And we're back here, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we had Geza Kalman Jr. Thank you, sir, for coming on down and gracing us with your presence here on the Sports Corner.
No problem, dude. It's been fun.
I had one other question, and a name that was supposed to be asked, and I actually skipped it. And it's actually the name Felatio.
Felatio. Wow. You know what? I knew Felatio when he first started and when he was Lartiste. And back then, besides saying hi to him at a few shows, never really talked to him because, you know, back then it was almost like there were two locker rooms, you know, that were involved on the shows where I was and Felatio was. And, you know, I had my group of boys there that I saw, and then he was with his group of guys, you know what I mean? And I probably didn't really get to know Felatio till I started wrestling again in early 2005, and I'm glad he's still around, and you know, I'm glad I got to know Felatio. He's actually you know, a hard man to wrestle, a little definitely unorthodox, but not in the same style of unorthodox like me, unorthodox in his own, you know, if I'm kind of one way, he's the other way, and you know, you pay attention to me, Jesse, when I'm talking, I appreciate it.
Sorry.
I don't care what else is going on here in the studios, all right?
Yes.
Okay, thanks, man. Because, you know, I want to know that I have your undivided attention.
Absolutely.
Because you were talking that, you know, you don't ever want to get hit, so don't make me hit you then, all right?
Understandable.
All right. So I'm actually glad, you know, that he's still around. I'm still around. I got a chance, you know, or getting a chance to get to know him, man. He's a hell of a guy in the locker room, and a hell of an entertaining guy to watch in his matches.
That is true. So that was the final name on the name association. It was the one that was missed, so to speak. So we go into Cambridge, and you were stating before that the PWA was making you prove yourself to go for the title. So have you dropped out of your hunt for the PWA gold?
No, PWA's got some, it's got different aspects of gold, right? It's got the heavyweight championship, which Reggie seems to want to have a stranglehold on, thanks to you. Also the tag team gold, which really don't want to do a tag team right now. And the only other singles gold I think they have right now is the Pure Violence. So...
Internet title?
Oh, yeah.
What do you mean you're forgetting about the internet title?
Oh, it just really didn't mean anything to me, I guess. So I really didn't look at it as a real title, but, sorry, Jesse, I'll let you keep the internet title, all right? I don't want to have to hurt Elian in order to take it from you. So, maybe the Pure Violence is going to be...
I can see you in that division.
Yeah, and right now it seems to be a hardcore division, and right now Mark Mandrake is the Pure Violence champion, which is fine. I mean, if it comes to that I have to face Mark Mandrake, that's fine, but I believe my upcoming opponent is going to be Warhead. And maybe after...
Former Pure Violence champion.
That's right, former Pure Violence champion. If there's any other Pure Violence contenders or former champs out there, I think maybe I'll start with Warhead. Show the PWA, you know what? I could be a good Pure Violence champion, and I'll take that Pure Violence in a whole different light.
Well, we look forward to it.
Holy crap, what kind of ruckus is going on in the goddamn studios?
It's the cats. they do have fun.
Are you near a Chinese restaurant or something? What the hell?
Just down the street.
Goddamn cats around here.
Just down the street. And what can I say? My sister hoards animals. Okay? But don't worry about that.
She hoards animals?
No, she doesn't hoard the animals. She hoards them.
Hoards.
Yes.
Oh, like a pack rat for animals?
Yes. There's tons of them all over the entire house. But they're locked up in their own certain areas.
Studio.
Yes.
Studio.
Alien gets to play with them.
Yes. Good for him.
But anyway, so we have your final comments here. We're going into, as we stated before, PWA Brantford on the 24th, Niagara Falls on the 25th, and Cambridge on the 26th. What are your final comments here to close out the show?
Final comments. I'm not really sure exactly. I mean, all I got to say is that when I talk in a situation like this, especially one that's uncensored, people might say I'm rude and I'm crude. That's all right. You know what I mean? You just got to be honest. You ask me a question, I'll give you an answer, and I'm not going to bullshit you. But for all my future opponents coming up there, you better watch out, especially you, Warhead, because you know what? I think I will set my eyes on that Pure Violence title. Now, you know what? You may use foreign objects and thumbtacks and this and that to hide the fact that you don't know a wrist lock from a headlock, but I know what all that shit is. And I also got these that I used to use to make my money, so goddamn it, I'll take that Pure Violence in a new way. Show you what Pure Violence is all about, brother.
All right, well, those are the closing comments. Ladies and gentlemen, watch out. Geza Kalman Jr. is going to destroy his opponents.
Canada's meanest wrestler right here.
Canada's meanest wrestler. I'll be back next week, ladies and gentlemen, for another edition of the Sports Corner. See you next week. The Sports Corner.